I believe that learning about your brain, step by step, like a little bit at a time over time, actually gives you really similar benefits to meditation. Now, don't hear me out. I'm not trying to put you out of business. It's the ideal is both
Yeah.
together, but there are certain people who are not going to like sit down and meditate every day. But those people might be fascinated to, like, as an entry point, to like learn about their brain. And what happens when you learn about your brain, you're actually practicing. Think about this. You're practicing watching what your attention's doing, right? Noticing it, labeling it, and then maybe switching it, right? So you might notice that you've tried to solve a problem 3 times and failed, and then going, oh, that's a marker for needing to like let my unconscious come through. I'm going to stop trying and have a cup of tea now, right? And so that's a switching of attention, right? So you learning about the brain, you begin to notice your attention and you begin to practice switching it. And guess what you do when you're meditating? You're practicing noticing your attention, labeling it, and switching it. And in both cases, I believe you're building 2 really, really important, actually really 3 really important cognitive kind of muscles, in a way, if I can use that word. One is sort of separation between, you, the observer, and the observed, as you call it. So getting a little bit of separation, noticing that you have some ability to make changes. And then separately, it's like noticing what is happening. So observing what is happening and then making a choice about maybe you want something else to happen. So those 3 mechanisms are consistent to learning about your brain and mindfulness, or meditation of many types, maybe not all. But so we've had this hypothesis that as you learn more about the brain, you actually become more mindful because you're more conscious of what's happening moment to moment. And I think the combination of those 2 is really powerful.
Yeah, that makes so much sense, because even introducing a framework into your consciousness about your consciousness is going to create some level of separation so that you are not exclusively identified with the thoughts themselves or with the emotions themselves. It's like it's creating almost on an intellectual level what the meditation is doing on a spiritual level, or I would even say on a nervous system calibration level. Right, because in specifically with Ziva, we're de-exciting the nervous system. We're giving the body rest that's about 5 times deeper than sleep. And I'm talking specifically about the meditation portion of the Ziva technique, because I think this will be where I'd like to go next, is helping people to understand the difference between mindfulness and meditation, and then talking about the neuroscience of these 2 different modalities.
Sure.
So I think what you just described, where you're noticing a thought, naming a thought, choosing something different, I would put that more in the bucket of mindfulness, which I would define as the art of bringing your awareness into the present moment, right? It's like back to the now, back to the now. It's anytime what I would call, pop culture, your left brain or your prefrontal cortex is engaged and you are directing your focus in some way, I would put that in the bucket of mindfulness. It's quite different than what I would define as meditation, which in the Ziva technique, like you're giving your body a rest that's about 5 times deeper than sleep. And you're doing that, the metabolic rate drops, heart rate slows, body temperature cools. So everything is slowing down in the body. And so it feels kind of like a supercharged power nap sitting up, but without the sleep hangover. But when you do that, when you de-excite the nervous system, that backlog of stresses that we've all been accumulating in our body starts to come up and out. It's like when you stop smoking, the junk comes up out of your lungs. When you do a fast, your body, 4 days into fasting, you start pooping again. And you're like, wait, where did that come from? And it's like the body can finally expel. So that's what Ziva is doing, is that it's giving your body time to rest so that it can release the things that aren't serving it. And then what I've found is on the other side of that catharsis, really, on the other side of that expelling, you have more space, you have more bandwidth, you have more cognitive power, you have more spaciousness to receive more information, which looks like better focus, better performance, more presence. But what's interesting is those byproducts are coming not through focus, not through performing, but rather through like laziness, rather through rest. So given that frame of mindfulness is very good at handling your stress in the now, meditation very good at handling your stress from the past. I'd love to hear your take on, like, from a neuroscientist perspective, how is one technique different from the other, and how would mindfulness and meditation change your brain in different ways?